such as merely pertaining to the ability to read and write, the traditional concept of it is being expanded to encompass the ability to use language, numbers, images, and other media to acquire, construct, and communicate meanings in all aspects of daily living. Today's education is now going to a great length to equip all learners with the new literacies that will enable them to face different challenges brought by globalization, which is a very influential phenomenon, and advancements in technology, which are of prevalence. Artistic and creative literacy is among the literacies or new literacies that every 21st century learner must master in order to survive this technology-laden planet. The National Coalition for Core Arts Standards, a conceptual framework for arts learning, define artistic literacy as the knowledge and understanding required to participate in the arts. So what are the arts? We have drama, dance, music,
This all or nothing really got a way of driving me.
media, and visual arts. On the other hand, creativity is referring to the ability or tendency to imagine new or original ideas that will enable one to solve problems, do what has to be done, and make it happen. A pleasant day to everyone. I am Christine from Bachelor of Secondary Education, English 3A. At this point in time, allow me to enlighten you as to what are the characteristics of an artistically literate student. This discussion is a continuation of the report of Ms. Rexelyn Tahan, in which she defined the artistic literacy and explained the benefits and the value of it to education. Let's go!
Come on, let's paint with some colors. Start with yellow, red, and blue. Mix them together.
Characterizing artistically literate individuals. Many classroom teachers regularly incorporate arts activities such as music, movement and dance, drama or theater, and visual arts into their teaching. Those who do describe how their students become more interested and involved with the learning at hand, and by doing so, markedly increase literacy skills. Learning with and through the arts enlivens instruction, increases students' involvement, and deepens both the meaning and the memory of learning at hand. In order to fully master or obtain artistic and creative literacy, teachers must engage their students in authentic arts activities. There would be no learning or discovery of the arts if students would just be reading the books. Students have to move their bodies, use their voice to sing, utilize different materials and equipments, and occupy space and facilities to explore the vast, beautiful world of arts and awaken their artistic side. Educators must take it upon themselves to employ effective teaching strategies and utilize resources that will make the arts engagement or arts learning more meaningful and more exciting. Literature on arts education and art standards and education cited the following as common traits of artistically literate students. 1. Use a variety of artistic media, symbols, and metaphors to communicate their own ideas and to respond to the artistic communication of others. An artistically literate individual may compose a poem using figurative language arranged in verse, use his voice, sing, use body movements, dance, use brushes, colors, paint, and other materials in order for him to fully express his idea or his understanding. He is using different media or different ways of processing the information. 2. Develop creative personal realization in at least one art form in which they continue active involvement as adults. An artistically literate student continues to treasure and do arts to which he was exposed when he was a student. With his artistic skills and abilities, he engages himself actively in different activities and endeavors in his community. An artistically literate student may end up becoming a professional painter, singer, photographer, choreographer, editor, and actor. Education is a process that prepares the learners for their future, and through arts engagement or arts learning, students can clearly see the path or the career they want to take. Cultivate culture, history, and other connections through diverse forms and genres of artwork. Artistically literate students take it upon themselves to enrich their cultural practices and beliefs and make known their history through the artistic skills and abilities they possess. They believe that the arts and the culture are inseparable. The culture created the arts, and in return, the arts enrich the culture. These young artists are considered as the valuable members of a society, of a community, and of a nation. They express their attachment and their love towards their tradition and culture through their artistic works. Find joy, inspiration, intellectual stimulation, and meaning when they participate in the arts. Artistically literate students love arts. They are deeply connected to them and identify themselves with them. They are not just doing arts just to fulfill a requirement or to pass a MABI subject, but they are continuing to engage themselves in the arts because they feel and nice that arts make their learning journey more meaningful and more fascinating. Seek artistic experiences and support the arts in their communities. Artistically literate students seek to widen their artistic knowledge and develop their artistic skills through exposing themselves through tutorials, attending and joining different arts events and contests, and communicating with their fellow artists in their communities. They believe that their journey with the arts is not only confined within the four walls of their classrooms. They have to explore the outside world to gain and amass learnings and experiences that will strengthen their identity as artists. With their skills and knowledge, they can participate in the building and strengthening of arts in their communities. Issues in teaching creativity. Creativity is not just for musicians or artists. Every learner can also get creative. We just have to teach them how. The development of students' creativity and talent must be the primary concern of every academic institution. Our world needs creative and analytical minds which can generate or produce ideas that can help us to solve global, economic, environmental, and social problems. Society's progress is really relying on schools which have the duty to produce valuable members. However, creativity development is not given a full attention at school, believing that the math and language are the most important subjects which should be always taught to students. The arts can function as modes of communication. Creative ideas are expressed through visual images, sound and movement, drama, and with the assistance of technology, are presented in the various forms of electronic media. While humans usually communicate verbally, they also use arts to express their feelings. On the other hand, body language, vocal inflection, and graphic representation can enhance verbal interaction, but arts expression can also present ideas and meanings that are embedded within the art form itself.
Have in common is that kids will take a chance. If they don't know, they'll have a go. Am I right?
In the famous TED Talk videos on creativity and innovation, Sir Ken Robinson, a British author, speaker, and international advisor, stressed the paradigms and education systems that hamper the development of creative capacity among learners. He emphasized that schools stigmatize mistakes. This prevents the learners from trying and coming up with new original ideas. Let's watch the video.
What we do know is, if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. If you're not prepared to be wrong. And by the time they get to be adults, most kids have lost that capacity. They have become frightened of being wrong. And we run our companies this, by the way. We stigmatize mistakes. And we're now running national education systems where mistakes are the worst thing you can make. And the result is that we are educating people out of their creative capacities.
Because of this painful truth, Robinson challenged the educators to educate the well-being of the learners and shift from the conventional learnings towards academic ability alone. Give equal weight to the arts, the humanities, and the physical education. Awaken and develop powers of creativity. Facilitate learning and work towards stimulating curiosity among learners. And last, view intelligence as diverse, dynamic, and distinct, contrary to the common belief that it should be academic ability geared. Doria 2001 and Anderson 2003 proposed 4 essential components to develop or design curriculum that cultivates artistic and creative literacy. Imagination and pretense, fantasy and humor. A creative curriculum will not simply allow but will actively support play and playfulness. The teacher will plan for learning and teaching opportunities for children to be at once who they are and who they are not, transforming reality, building narratives, and mastering and manipulating signs and symbol systems. Active menu to meaning making. In a classroom where children can choose to draw, write, paint, or play in any way that suits their purpose or mood, literacy learning and arts learning will inform and support each other. Intentional, holistic teaching. A creative curriculum requires a creative teacher who understands the creative processes and purposefully supports learners in their experiences. Intentional teaching does not mean drill and rote learning, and indeed, endless rate learning exercises might indicate the very opposite of intentional teaching. What makes for intentional teachings is thoughtfulness and purpose, and this could occur in such activities as reading a story, adding a prop, drawing children's attention to spiders' webs, and playing with rhythm and rhyme. Even the thoughtful and intentional imposing of constraints can lead to creativity. And co-player, co-artist. Educators must be reminded of the importance of understanding the children as current citizens, with capacities and capabilities in the here and now. It is vital for the teachers to know and appreciate children and what they know by being mindful of the present and making time for conversation, interacting with the children as they draw. Teachers must try to avoid letting the busy management work of their days take precedence and distract them from the being. Artistic and creative literacy is not only pursued to engineer a better future. One of the main reasons of its incorporation into education is to enhance the imagination that is present in every learner. Imagination is the root of concepts and ideas that have contributed to the success of mankind since time immemorial. Imagination is a gift that can be a power if nurtured. Merry Christmas, everyone, and advance Happy New Year.
Come on, let's paint with some colors. Start with yellow, red, and blue. Mix them together to get purple